Hi guys, it's Shade here. How's it going? Welcome back to Fanservice Friday. Today we're going to continue with Time Tenshi. Last time we met the girls, Kyo, Rose, and Michelle, and learned how the time machine works. Apparently it causes basic expansions in the woman's bust, and makes them do stuff they wouldn't do. So, hint, hint. Anyway, last time Kenji also was sleeping. What? Come on, Shade. Why don't you word good? Come on, word better. Anyway, he was sleeping when suddenly he fed. I heard a loud blaring alarm as I fell out bed onto the floor. Oof, what the? I rubbed my head as I stood, heading towards the door out to the lab. What's going on? Crone Tech is at it again. Sorry to wake you, Kenji, but this was an emergency signal. Have you pinpointed the location yet, Michelle? Just about. Bros, Kyo, go get suited up. I'll get this down in the meantime. I'll try to locate the source of their own time window while a trace is still available. Best of luck, Gramps. I stood there awkwardly as the alarm blared. The sounds of rapid typing on keyboards and the muttering under Michelle's breath, the only real things keeping me occupied. After a few minutes, Kyo and Rose stepped back in. Rose's outfit I had seen before, but Kyo's took me back. Oh! I second that, Kenji. Wow. Kyo could tell I was looking right at her as I exclaimed my shot. She blushed. What? It's really flexible. I picked it out myself. No, sorry. It looks nice on you. Well, that's an understatement, Kenji. I just wasn't expecting it, that's all. Like, damn, that is a sexy made outfit. I don't see how that's practical, but then again, I don't see how most female armor in video games is practical, so this makes sense. Alright, Kenji-san, if you say so. Not as if he'll be able to see you for long. Now get in there. I've got him targeted and ready for confrontation. Be careful, you two. You never know what kind of trouble they could be trying to rustle up. What are they trying to alter this time? Mid-18th century Germany. Apparently trying to do something about the Silesian War. I gotta look that up now. Ugh, always has to be a war, doesn't it? I carry a sword for a reason, Kyo. I know, but still. Can't they try to alter something else? Apparently they want to play peacekeepers through time. I have no idea what kinds of insane plans they have, but now isn't the time to discuss it. Get going, I'll have eyes on you guys, so don't worry. They both nodded as a time window opened in a blinding flash of white. They stepped up towards it and vanished through the portal. The light disappeared and Michelle put up a video on a large monitor in front of her. I leaned over her shoulder and was able to see the scene along her. Ugh. I cannot work it today, that's not good. So, this is where they're at. How can you see this? The time window has some very helpful abilities, such as an observance mode, that lets me see where the girls see for as long as they're through it. As you can see, they made it through just fine. Now watch and learn, kid. Ugh, I'll never get used to this sort of thing. Just hang in there, Rose, it'll be fine. Oh. Talk about a boob job. Both girls grit their teeth as their chests suddenly surged into their respective clothes. As they moved through the time window's vortex, more and more was stacked upon their already prominent busts. They dared not speak as their clothes creaked and groaned, adjusting to the new size of the bosoming orbs they were meant to keep covered. What are they gonna do? Is it like they're gonna explode if they utter a word? No. That doesn't make any sense. I swear we get bigger each time. As long as we don't keep any of it, I don't care. Aw, what's the matter, Rose? They look nice on you. I love Kyo so much. Like, so much. Rose blushed at Kyo's words as their chests made one final surge outward. The sudden rush of growth caused them both to gasp as they reached their new size, still just as perky, somehow, as before they went through. Now, obviously, you can see the massive difference. Not that it's a bad thing. It's wonderful. Phew, made it. Honestly, I don't see what those metalheads think they can achieve. How do you stop an entire war from happening? I don't know. They're so weird like that, but I guess we should start looking. Duo walked across the open field, seeing a band of warriors in the distance. Let's hope we don't bump into whatever's going on over there. Who cares? We're invisible to them, remember? Yeah, but I always feel so naked in this. Honestly, I don't know why you refused the petition I made that we should actually go in naked. 'Cause we didn't know for sure that they couldn't see us, Kyo! She got no shape. I love that's awesome. Not that I'm a pervert or anything. No. I just shut up. Also, I'd rather not travel through time in the buff. Thank you very much. I wouldn't mind, but Michelle advised against it. That explains why your outfit is skimpier than mine. And also why it stretches better when we grow. Yeah, well, enough boob talk. Can we get to work? Where are those Chrome Tech freaks anyway? Look who finally made it. Tweedledee and Tweedledum. So nice to see you two dopes again. Time to try to follow your plan as usual. And what are you getting at now, Mizuki? Where's Bunny? Doing your dirty work while you trash talk? I'm right behind you, you airhead. Seriously, what's with all the skimpy outfits in this game? I mean, Kiyo's is much more skimpier than that woman's outfit, but come on! There is such a thing called too much fan service, but not here. Gosh, I thought we had gotten curvier. If you got it, flaunt it, right, Mizuki? That's right, my dear bunny. Now then, if you two would kindly buzz off, we have some work to do. Yeah, right. No, the whole point of us coming here was to stop you from doing whatever you're trying to do. Oh, good luck. It's gonna take us a while, and the longer we're here, the bigger you two get. I mean, that applies to you guys too. Well, the big difference here is we enjoy every minute of it. Yeah, well, you're not gonna stay here much longer. Rose drew her sword. Ah, yes, the oh so scary sword. How terrifying. I continued to watch from the monitor, seeing the scene play out one bit at a time. I noticed Kiyo pulled out a feather duster. I wasn't sure where, but she had one. She swiftly flicked it, a whip stretched from the tip. Oh, okay. I was wondering how she was going to be able to fight them. Becoming as long as she was tall, it seemed to crackle with some sort of energy. You better back off and go back to the time you came from. My, your powers of intimidation know no bounds. While Mizuki tended to have a very flat tone in her voice, I could sense the sarcasm all the way through the screen. They stared each other down. Mizuki pulled out some other weapons of her own, throwing stars and other weapons that could have been owned by the ninjas I had seen on TV. The silence seemed to hang before they lunged at each other. Rose was a grateful sight, twirling around as Bunny went for a high kick, her stiletto heel just missing the eloquent knight's face. Rose's chest jostled around with her rhythm, and I could tell Michelle shot me a look that said, "You better behave yourself now." What am I gonna do, Michelle? Am I gonna start fapping right there in the middle of a mission? What the hell? I'm not that perverted. Forget you heard that. Kiyo stayed stationary, cracking her whip towards Mizuki, who unleashed her own series of weapons. They flew past her, and I watched as a ninja star went straight towards Kiyo. She bent backwards for far enough to avoid injury, but not far enough to prevent the shuriken from whisking between her cleavage and coming to a comfortable stop. Of course, much to her embarrassment. I could see her face quickly turning a burning pink color as she dug deep in to retrieve it, before retaliating by swinging her whip above her head and thrusting it at Mizuki's hand. It managed to latch onto her, and as soon as it did, Kiyo squeezed the base of the duster, sending a jolt of electricity towards the Kinoichi. It managed to connect, Mizuki shrieking and shaking before seemingly falling apart. Her clothes seemed to disappear first, and all I could do was watch as the stark, naked girl dissolved into nothingness. Aww! Come on! You couldn't have shown that. I felt a knock against my head, Michelle reminding me that she was indeed right next to me. Enjoying this show, perv? Hey, look, it's not my fault their clothes conveniently fall off first. I mean, yeah, fair enough. That's all she had to say before turning back to the monitor to watch. I turned my attention over to Rose, who was struggling against Bunny. While Mizuki had seemed quick, she had been felled by a slight misstep. However, the taller girl seemed to be putting up a much stronger fight. Her legs were swift and kept moving quickly every second, dodging and weaving through the flurry of kicks and knee jabs that were being sent her way. Eventually, Bunny got a hit in. As she did, Kiyo came up behind her, materialized what looked like a tea tray. Is that really the time for tea? Watch and learn, kid. The tray launched from her hand and began to grow a bright blue color, whirling quicker and quicker as it got closer to Bunny. Unfortunately, Bunny took notice before it got much closer and quickly lunged her heel to deflect the tray. It was then that I realized that the tray was a distraction for Rose, who had gotten back up from being knocked to the ground. Rose swiftly took her sword and plowed into Bunny harshly. Bunny gasped, stopping, her leg still cocked up in the air. Before anything else could happen, her clothes, like Mizuki's, fell to pieces. She didn't seem to mind somehow. I could hear her chuckle, a nasty grin sprawled across her face. Don't get too big for your britches, girls. Believe it or not, we accomplished what we needed to do here before you could interfere. But I do hope we can meet again. She was cut off as her form disintegrated suddenly. Falling into dust, both Kyo and Rose seemed exhausted. Michelle sighed, brushing her long hair from her face. Alright, Kenji, go to your room. Why? Do you really need to ask that? From how Rose was yesterday? Now go to your room and don't come out till tomorrow. And why should I? Kenji, listen to Michelle. Trust me, when you don't, bad things tend to happen. I couldn't believe this. Even my grandfather sounded intimidated by Michelle. She's got a whipping cane. What do you expect, dude? I huffed, turning towards the hall and going into my room. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens next time, Michelle. Okay, I'm going to save real quick, and then we're going to continue. As soon as the text is done. I'm going to save real quick, and we'll continue with the game. Thank you. Okay, an hour or so passed as I laid on my bed, thinking to myself and staring at the ceiling. Even after having a day to let it all sink in, these new things happening, these new concepts and ideas, they still made no sense. And they still frightened me. If people could go back in time now, then they could likely change things for the better. But from watching movies and reading stories, I knew about time travel, time paradoxes and the butterfly effect, it wasn't all that easy. I thought about my parents, about my home burning down in front of me. I thought, if I can go back and stop that from happening, would that be the right thing to do? If I did that, then I'd have my family again. But then I would never have known about my grandfather's lab, or met the girls. But in that case, I would have never gone back in time and stopped the fire. Gah! My brain hurts. Well, time travel is complicated, dude. If you're gonna rack your brain, be sure you're ready to get a few headaches. Just as I said that, I heard a knocking on my door. Come in. Door slid open, revealing Michelle on the other side. I swiftly sat up, looking at her stern face as she looked at me through the doorway. Is it alright to enter? Yeah, of course. Have a seat. I offered her a chair, and she sat softly into it. She sighed, then looked at me. Thank you, Kenji. She was silent for a moment, and the confusion slowly hit me. For what, Michelle? For leaving when I asked. I know how tempting it must be for a grown man as yourself just to leave two girls with exaggerated figures and heightened desires alone. So I commend you for your restraint. I could feel warmth rush up my face as I rubbed the back of my head bashfully. Oh yeah, sure. I mean, it's only polite. Yes, you're right, and I truly appreciate it. So in return, next time, you may feel free to visit either of the girls on their downtime. Just give them some time to recover from the effects of the time window first. Wait, so I needed permission to see them all of a sudden? Well, I suppose not, but I had assumed you knew that they could be hit a bit much when under the influence of said side effects, but you've proven yourself to be mature enough. She stood, her short meaning seeming over, before turning back towards me and giving me a steely gaze. But I swear, you try and take advantage of those girls behind my back. She made the threatening gesture of running her fingers across her neck in a slicing motion. You won't be in the lab much longer, kid. An awkward silence hung in the air for a minute before her mood suddenly flipped to cheery, giving me a big smile before swinging my door back open. Sleep well, Kenji. Well, that's a good way to end the day, getting a death threat. Ugh. And with that, she left. Michelle still mystified me with her behavior, but I shrugged it off before sinking back into my bed and nodding off to sleep. I woke groggily and stepped out into the hallway. Standing around near the end of the west hall was Rose, tapping on her cell phone. Hearing my door open, she glanced up and beamed over a smile. She wore her usual around-the-lab outfit. Kenji, this way! I was just about to get some breakfast. I nodded and walked over to her, following her into the cafeteria. Have a seat. I'll grab you something real quick. You like muffins? Yeah, sure, that sounds fine. Cool, I'll slice one open and get it all nice and warm for you. Just take a seat, I'll join you for breakfast. Her voice was reassuring and soothing as she gracefully stepped over to the kitchen area. I heard the sound of beeps from the microwave. I sat there thinking of the events from yesterday, how crazy it was to see these incredibly intelligent girls do physical combat and other shady-looking ladies. This whole situation kept getting weirder. Eventually, after a few more beeps from the kitchen area, Rose returned carrying 2 plates. Each one had a blueberry muffin. All the thumbnails. I need all of these for all the thumbnails. She smiled as she handed me my plate. Enjoy. I hope you like blueberry. Thank you, and yeah, it's one of my favorites. Ooh, me too. Boysenberry too. You ever had an orange cranberry? I shook my head. It sounded like a strange combination to me. Ooh, those are so hard to find sometimes, but they are definitely worth it. She paused to take a bite out of her muffin. Her posture and mannerisms very posh and refined. He'll always carry those around. Rice cracker things. Makes me wonder how unhealthy they are. Well, they can't be that bad, judging by how well she stays in shape. Ah, I suppose that's true. I do love baking all sorts of treats for her. She really seems to appreciate them. Michelle won't get near my projects, though. Why is that? Does Michelle not think your baking is good? Nah, I think she just avoids eating a lot of gluten or something. Michelle is weird. She's really bossy and strict sometimes, but she means well. I raised an eyebrow. Where'd that come from? What do you mean? I was just making conversation. Michelle is really sweet, but she can be a bit strange at times. Like, sometimes when I go out to get a midnight snack, I see her in the lab tinkering around. Well, that makes sense, considering she's the main technician of the time window. Rose sighed. Yeah, I suppose you have a point. Still, sometimes I hear her muttering to no one while she's in there. Just kind of weird to me. I'm sorry, what? Are you... Did you... You're just gonna ignore that, Kenji? That's an obvious hint right there! Maybe Michelle is a double agent. Oh my god. Well, that's just my opinion. Now it's starting to sounds like by that Michelle's some kind of double agent working for Crone Tech to see. It's no wonder they stole the plans. Oh god, I gotta stop. I gotta think. Okay, let's just continue. We'll think about this later. Me? Oh no, I'm fine. The muffin is fantastic. Oh, thanks. I could see her blush at my compliment. Made them myself. They were a joy to bake. Really? You should let me help sometime. Her head perked up and she looked at me, a pink hue still on her shocked face. She shook her head a bit, giggling and smiling wide. Well, I greatly appreciate that, Kenji. For now, you should go see Kyo. I heard she wanted to go out shopping for some new clothes today. Alright, does she really need me there? Well, the truth is, Tensai just wants you to get out of the lab for a bit. Get some fresh air and a nice walk. It's only been like 2 days. Yeah, he just likes to worry. He worries about this too. But I think he worries about you especially, since you're kind of his grandson and all. Don't know why. He wasn't around that much when I was growing up. Doesn't mean he can't care about flesh and blood, Kenji. He was a busy man, and he still is. She stood from the bench and took my plate. Now go out and see Kyo. She should be in the entertainment room as usual. Gotcha. Thanks again for breakfast, Rose. It's no problem, Kenji. I'm glad you liked it. She gave me one last broad smile before walking back over to the kitchen. I offered to help with the dishes, but she told me she could easily handle a couple of plates. With that, I went back out to the hallway and made my way into the entertainment center. Kyo was indeed in there, lounging, just watching TV. I sat on a nearby recliner. Yo! My voice is cracking. She casually waved, not taking her eyes off the TV. She looked tired. You alright, Kyo? Her head rolled over slowly, looking at me with half-open eyes. She yawned slowly. It was a soft, cute, squeaky yawn, accompanied by her stretching out her arms and thrusting her chest forward. I did my best not to stare. I'm fine, just a long trip yesterday. Wore me out. Aren't from Michelle that you were watching? Yeah, I was just curious as to what we do out there. We're supposed to be there, just to be there so Michelle can observe history. We usually just chill until she tells us to return. Maybe go look around the countryside, follow some of Michelle's instructions that she tells us through the time window. Maybe grab a bite to eat. Aren't you worried that if you do something like bump into someone or break something? What, we'd rip a hole in the space-time continuum? I could tell from her tone that she was ripping me, and she let out a laugh before explaining herself. The way I see it, Kenji, is that when we go back in time, we travel upstream in a river. I don't believe in the butterfly effect. I believe that when we travel back, we go upstream, and we end up whenever the time window wants us to end up. There was a silence as I took in her words. While Kia always seemed sort of fighty, she had decent theories on time travel. Good. This time travel thing is still a little experimental. In other words, I'm not one to buy into the butterfly effect. I don't think much of time travel movies anyway. Once again, there was another pause as she looked over at me, snickering with a smile grin on her face. Lighten up, Kenji, come on. I got some shopping to do. Join me upstairs and help me out, will you? Alright, what did you need to buy She took me by the arm and suddenly lifted me up, her skirt twirling above her waist. I tried to maintain eye contact with her. Don't worry about it, silly, just come on. She led me to the elevator and pushed the button. But not before Michelle came by, exiting the research lab. Why am I lisping so much today? She arched her eyebrow at us, Kyo's arm still wrapped around my own. You two stay out of trouble, okay? Psh, whatever, Mom. Whatever, Mom. Shut up, don't tell me what to do. You're not my real mom. Darn fire. Burned up and crisp. Kyo stuck out her tongue at Michelle, who merely shrugged and walked away. The way Michelle addressed us, it made it sound as if we were going on a date or something. And as if Kyo could read my mind, she turned to me and smiled. Not nervous to go out with a girl as cute as me, are you? No, of course not, Kyo. So you don't mind if I pretend that you're my boyfriend while we're up there? What? Oh, okay, so you do mind then. She said this with a wink. I had to let the initial shock pass and I shook it off. She was obviously toying with me. I tried to put it a bit cooler. I mean, no, of course not. I don't mind one bit. Whatever, Romeo. I was just kidding around. Keep your pants, tough guy. I felt myself go red as a tomato as the elevator doors finally swung open. Hio pulling me inside and watching the door shut behind us. Today should be interesting, I thought to myself. Alright guys, now this is where I'm gonna leave it off for today. So next time on Time Tenshi, we're gonna go out with Kyo and go shopping for clothes, which she desperately needs because apparently that is the only thing she has besides her time outfit. So until next time, have a lovely day.